and today's topic is changing attitude. First, first we should change our attitude to succeed in meditation that results in awakening. That is what we have an idea, because we have an idea that oh, let me practice meditation, close my eyes, focus on the breath, and I will awaken. I have not changed my attitude. So once I return from the meditation, attitude takes over me. That is why we are not able to live in that state of peace and happiness 24 by 7. That guy is crazy. It happened 1 hour before the meditation. Now you have attended the session, practiced the meditation. Wow, I feel so much of calm. And session is over, attitude takes over you. My honey is so crazy, I do not understand. Is there any possible? Let him or also practice meditation. So where the focus is, others should change. I should not change. I'm always right. Even if I'm angry, I'm all right. I'm fighting with you, I'm all right. So I do not become aware of my attitude. Someone said you something, and then the whole night is disturbed. You have a disturbed sleep. Attitude. Are you getting into it? Attitude. We say we are the perfect guy in the world. Let the world should change according to me. And that is the worst thing that can happen. Then we will constantly live in stress and suffering and anxiety and fear. There is no way to get out of it. Then you practice meditation even for 50 years, nothing will happen. It is just like taking a shower, it's very hot, let me take a shower, come out. Once you come out, you are the same person. Think of this. If you do not think the way the masters are thinking for us, then there is no way to get out of this mess that we have created for ourselves. So you see from where this idea comes. So it is extracted from these questions that we have been discussing. The first question, what is the goal of life? Goal of life is the peace and happiness. Do whatever you want to do for me. Let the situation in the world change. I'm not going to change my attitude because I have fixed the goal of my life is peace and happiness. But these thoughts seldom come. We have to settle a score with other person, with our relations. So settling the score with other people and the person means attitude. I'm explaining the attitude. You see the common desire for, where is the common desire of the entire human beings? Everyone desires peace and happiness. The Master says, if this is true, then one is angry because he is desiring peace and happiness by becoming an angry. That is a wrong approach, and I do not want to be a party of this. Finished. So I have changed my attitude. I instantly become aware, no way, you are crazy. Say that I'm more crazy than you think. If you really become crazy, then his giving certification is true. If one says you are crazy and you become angry, then you are already certified. Crazy. Attitude. And this attitude causes the problem at our personal level, our professional level, our social level, in our relations. You may go into your memory lane and find out. You will realize this is the fact. So the Eastern wisdom teaches, take hold of your mind. Do not allow this mind to get agitated, to be dictated by any outer situation. Third question that we have covered in detail, what is the end of the suffering and permanent happiness? This is known as nirvana. Then what is nirvana? We have taken the fourth question. Nirvana is nothing but the self-knowledge. That is what we have taken. Self-knowledge. Fourth question. What brings that now? What brings that self-knowledge? Self-knowledge means knowing myself. I am agitated. It means what? Attitude. The way I respond, the way I should have responded to a particular situation, I lost control of it and I reacted to a situation. Fourth question. What brings the moksha or nirvana? Self-knowledge. Knowledge about myself. Am I made of an anger or hesitation or reaction or duality and a conflict? So what happens then when this outer situation has the same factors? What happens? My corresponding anger that is hidden inside me comes out. Don't tell me how many of you get agitated, react, and become angry. It's better for you to contemplate and reflect. My goodness, you see. So now we will talk a little bit about the attitude. So in the fourth question, this master explains our attitude inside the mind and behavior outside. Behavior means the way I speak, the way I perform an action, the way I pass on the remarks to the people, or the way I do my work. Internet is gone, so I throw my mouse. What the heck, I'm not able to see it. Attitude. Attitude. If I don't change the attitude inside my mind, no progress can be made. I've already discussed that. So there is a path which is known as karma yoga. So here yoga means a mental state or an attitude by which I perform an action. So attitude inside the mind and action outside it. I enjoy giving the lesson because why? Attitude is to express yourself, to express that knowledge which I have learned. Why I'm 5 or 10 minutes before the session? I enjoy attitude. That is what is known as. So if I do not change my attitude in the entire day of my living, and even if you are practicing meditation every day for 1 hour, so find out the ratio, 1 hour into 24. That is why the change is not taking place. Perhaps you may be wanting to know why the change is not happening. Just after this session, my ego takes over me. Oh, so what you were saying? Do you think that I'm crazy? Because you have already proven that you are crazy. You have started fighting. I'm telling you, that is what is happening in our relations all the time. So let us settle this score with you. What happens? Argument, attitude, and ultimately we land up with no solution. So we kept the unfinished task of reaction for the next day. Ha ha. That is our way of living. It may happen with the honey, it may happen at the professional level, it may happen when client of my, what happens, then what happens, the hypocrisy enters into our life. So we try to protect our hypocrisy. You already know. What I am not, I pretend to project. Do you see that I don't become angry? Do you see? I'm totally unconscious about my attitude. It happens to everyone. It happened to me also long back. Now I have understood no use. It's all utterly selfishness to be angry, hesitated, reacting to the outer situation, including the hot summer Sophie was talking. 120. My response that, okay, I will ask you about the weather in January and February in New Jersey. And there is a storm, I will give you a lot of calls to you. Are you okay? Look at it. Karma yoga. Karma yoga means, the yoga means a mental state and attitude by which I perform my action, I show my behavior. Behavior means action. If I give you a lesson with lot of stress on my face, and then you're talking with the peace and happiness, attitude. Attitude. That is what we understand by an attitude. So karma means an action, and how action takes place. Now ask yourself how action takes place. It takes place from the mind. If I don't know a cup of tea refreshes me, I have a knowledge about the tea. So first is the knowledge, second is the desire to have a cup of tea. So that knowledge and the desire prompts me to act, to go to the kitchen, prepare a cup of tea and have it. Knowledge first, desire second, action third. Action means the behavior. So knowledge and the desire, if they are wrong, if they take you into the wrong direction, and then normally we say, no, don't talk to this guy. He will react to it. It even happens in the family. We try to withdraw ourselves, but you are building your stress. Withdrawal is, and one day blast. Enough is enough. You created enough is enough. Don't do that. It comes from the same attitude. Are you understanding? Am I clear? Even if you did not understand, say yes. No problem. So remember this. We said karma yoga, and then we said yoga is a state of the mind, and then action translates into behavior. So that attitude, if I do not understand that attitude, then what happens? My knowledge is wrong. I become unconscious. I become habitual, because we don't become agitated and angry if I'm not unconscious. It is automatic. You don't plan to be angry tomorrow. So attitude is behavioral, impulsive, and instinctive. That is bound to express in your behavior. Come what may, how much you hide, it will open. How are you? I'm okay. You have already expressed your behavior. You are upset with your relations and someone. How are you? No, I'm okay. You have already. It will come automatically. You cannot hide it. So I'm trying to hide it. That becomes a hypocrisy. Do you see that? Keep smiling. We are not talking about you. We're talking about general, normal people. So then we found out that it is the knowledge first, desire. If you don't have the knowledge, you cannot have the desire, and that cannot be expressed in behavior. This guy who has been my student, so I said I'm homeless, I'm knowledgeless, and I'm, knowledgeless, homeless, and jobless. So he wrote to me that I am also knowledgeless, homeless, even though I have 5 or 6 houses. Are you a hypocrite? Really, I don't have it. So I remember that I sent the invoice. He said, I don't have money. I did not react to it. I have 5 or 6 houses, but I don't have the money to pay the invoice. I have realized it. You are living a superficial life. But anyhow, he paid me the next day. So the masters in the Eastern wisdom are very introspective. They first look at inside the attitude with which they are going to express their behavior and action, and that makes the life happy. In unhappy situation, you are happy. Why? Because of your attitude. Situation is not going to dictate you. That is what. So let us go a little deeper. So when we say knowledge, desire, and action, remember this: knowledge, desire, and action. I don't have a knowledge about the coffee, then I cannot have a desire. Right? It's so simple. Now I feed my mind knowledge about a person, he is a crazy guy. So my desire will also be different. So action that I'm going to express in my relationship will also be reactive. You see that how I brought you from the cup of tea to the real life situation. Did you understand that? For example, my mind imagined husband or a wife. Think for a while, I'm single. So my mind imagined husband and imagined wife. Now I got married. So there is a struggle between the imagined husband and a wife and the real husband and a wife. So I'm struggling inside my mind. Now you see what attitude will come. Someday I will compromise. I will say, okay, honey, okay, I love you. The other day, the imagined idea of a husband or a wife comes. Aha. This happens in every situation, in every relations, in every condition. I'm not asking everyone, but it happens to everyone. Now ask the next question: from where this imagined husband or a wife that I have created in my mind and so-called the factual husband and a wife, both are false. A boy becomes a husband, a girl becomes a wife. So outer level it is false, and imagination is false. We are caught up in this dualities. Why? Because mind lives in ignorance. But why the mind lives in ignorance? It builds in big ego. Now the ego attitude is working all the time to express my behavior in the world. Oh, where is Chadi? Oh, Chadi is not attending today. Think, contemplate, and reflect. Mental attitude inside. So we have understood how come the mental attitude is so habitual and instinctive and impulsive inside because of our imagination and the fancies we have about anything and everything. And same thing happens in our relationship. That is what we say misconception. We keep the wrong notion. After all, boy is a boy, wife is a girl is a girl. You don't find any special organ in Miss Universe. All girls are same. To be on a very tough side. And you don't find anything special in Mr. Universe. Except there is some change. You have a grey beard or white. That's at a very superficial level. The man is known by your attitude. Person is known by your attitude. You are attending the session because of that attitude. If I start criticizing you all, you say hell with you. Think, think, think. So every master says, think about it, contemplate, reflect on it. Oh, this attitude is causing the trouble not only to me, but to my near and the dear ones. Let me drop it. Let me make an effort. And I told you, it is the part of the ego that wants to live in its own shell. It has created a set of emotions and the feeling and the thoughts by which you reflect, by which you observe, by which you judge everyone. Is it not true? That is why I'm living in stress, Karma yoga. So I become aware that what kind of an attitude by which I deal with a person, speak to a person, I act or react. And you will discover that 90% of our actions are not basically actions, they are reactions. And that passes on to the other person. Ultimately, our relationship is destroyed. I have been very kind to my honey, for the last 20 years, and now enough is enough. And that is why I have taken a divorce. No, you have not been kind. You were building that attitude. It got saturated. It got saturated. So, Eastern wisdom or masters go very deep inside your mind. Otherwise, the world is so beautiful. You remove the imagined situation, you remove your preconceived opinion. The world is so beautiful. Is it easy to do it? No. It takes years, even if you start from today. Why? Because we have already accumulated millions of impressions. We have multiplied it. You already know fixed deposit in US does not give you so much of amount. In India, it gives you another 15-20%. So we have a fixed notion, we have done the fixed deposit by which I look at every person. until you change this attitude, you're not going to change your outer expression. You may try to protect it. Oh, you see that how good I am to you. How good I am to you. You are showing, or you are really good to me. Are you really good to your relations, or are you really showing that you are good to you? How to know that? That expression will come in your head. You see that I have been so good to this guy and he has reacted to me. You have spoiled your attitude. Did you understand the hypocrisy? So, if we continue to accumulate these impressions, so attitudinal change, I said attitudinal change, we will just give you one more aspect of this. So, the masters dig deep inside our mind and they realize that that attitude must have a thinker and the doer. Without that thinker and a doer, you cannot have any attitude. If I say that you are so good, it means there is a doer inside. That I-ness is there. So I experience comfort with you, so you are good to me. That is ego. I'm discomfortable and uncomfort with you, so you are not good. So ego constantly works. What we have to do, we have to replace this ego. We have to make it right. If anyone claims I have a lot of stress in the suffering, and ultimately if they blame and complain and react to the world outside, to the near and the dear ones, including the strangers, find out it is ultimately it is the doer that is ego. They don't see the world in a right perspective. Am I clear? As if I'm clear, you have also to be clear. You have also to be clear. So it means the knowledge may be true or may be wrong. How to understand that? You see how the hair splitting analysis of our behavior and attitude. How to know? That should be our last question to answer before we do the practice. How to know my attitude is wrong or right? I give the lesson for an hour and done, finished. There is no thought about it. Let me join next week. But if the thought remains in my mind, which is incomplete, I keep on thinking, repeating the same situation again and again in my mind. That does not only disturbs my sleep, results into fatigue, and then I accumulate that attitude which is going to be repulsive. You go to the restroom, so knowledge, I have an urge. Let me go to the restroom, come back. That thought dissolves. Thought is complete. Action is complete. Thought is right. Action is complete. No more thought. You don't know I'm suffering for the last 10 years because of my honey. You carry the burden of one event for the last 10 years. Thought is not complete. Thought is not complete. So where from that thought comes from a thinker? Who is that thinker? That thinker is the ego. I have to replace that. So we started our journey that unless we change our attitude, our behavior is not going to change. We continue to keep that attitude in the mind, protecting it, controlling it, it will be expressed. Don't you see that I'm in peace? That's okay. Oh, Oh, you already attend peace. Yes, I attend peace. Now see, my tone and the pitch tells me whether I am a hypocrite or not. I am in peace. Why you are asking me again and again? It is going to be expressed. Do whatever you do. You may be the highest level of cleverness. It will not hide. Other person knows it. Because you have already reflected that conflict by your expression. Even if you say, I'm so, some people say that I'm very kind, I'm very good. I'm very good. Very good. Be careful about those people. Let us do the practice. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and find out the most comfortable position of your body. Attitude. Your attitude and the mind will reflect into your body if you keep on moving the body again and again. That is, the attitude never leaves you, even in sleep, the way you sleep, the way you talk, the way you act. So, looking at the neck joint being there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints, mind moves gently. You are looking at your mind, how it moves to the shoulder joints. If it is gently, you are changing. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toes, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Being carefree. So being carefree is a very important step in observing the unwanted and unwelcome thoughts. I explained you. Mind is like a highway. You are an observer, that is lane 2. You are watching unwanted thoughts and unwelcome thoughts and feelings. So those unwanted, unwelcome thoughts has some connection to our fixed deposit. Otherwise, why can't we have the similar unwanted thoughts? You have different set of thoughts which are unwanted, undesirable. I have a different set of thoughts, and so I am very careful. I remain as an observer. I do not identify myself. So that is the lane 2. And the moment you are an observer, your mind becomes calm. Why? Because that thought does not become a thinker. That is the meaning of being carefree. That is. So you're just doing nothing. Body remains in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And as if you're looking, as if standing across a road, that is in lane 2. From there you are observing unwanted thoughts. So why you are observing? The moment you are an observer, they will not get disassociated with you and they will not create a doer and a thinker. That's a very subtle practice. Normally, we are carefree with at the habitual and impulsive level. Why? Everything around us is goody goody. So we have already understood that the mantra, if we are repeating, this mantra vibrates all the time, 24 by 7 in your head. What you are doing? You are filtering out the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, the imagined notions. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Now you see that you are bringing in this thought into the mind. No, I don't have a feeling about happiness for all. No worries. You keep on repeating until the thought generates the feeling. Why? You will change your attitude. Now, did you see why I have been giving you this mantra? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Please, you repeat in your head all the time. You need not to say Sanskrit mantra. May there be peace for all. May there be peace for all. You're looking at your honey. First, you think, may there be peace for him also or her also before you express any thought. You wake up in the morning, you're doing in the afternoon, in the evening, during the day, at your professional activities. Why? I want to change my attitude. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Completeness means wholeness, holiness. Why? We all are whole. Why we are whole? We are created by the whole. So we have to be whole. There is no other option. How clear it is. Now, once you said this in your head, the mind says no. The imagined wrong notion returns, and you repeat it again. Now I'm complete in myself. What I have to expect from the world outside to be complete. My expectation creates a doer, and the doer is that ego. Look at it. One mantra explains all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. It literally means let there be an auspiciousness for all. Existence is always showering grace and the blessing to each and every being in the species on this planet. We don't recognize because of attitude. How can you say that? We all woke up in the morning alive. Is it not a blessing? We can walk and talk to others. Is it not a blessing? We are still breathing. It is not a blessing. I'm not talking of any religion and cult and dogma. I'm just look at the fact. So I'm grateful to the existence who kept me alive today also. Can you force the existence to remain alive? If you want to force, that is an arrogance and that is an attitude. I'm just helping you to go deeper. Do the practice as many times as possible this week to see the change in this week. Now we'll go a little deeper. Look at the head and the neck. As if you are looking at the skin of your head and the neck, moving the mind, be there and experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look at the right arm means you're looking at the skin. Be there. So now, even if the unwanted thoughts are entering into your mind, they are separate from you. You continue your journey. It means you're leaving your all the past attitude unnoticed, unattended. What it means, you're dissolving your ego. Simple, factual, practical. And what exactly we are doing? I'm saying look at the right arm, be there and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You shifted your awareness and attention, even if those thoughts are there. It will take time. Look at the left arm, be there, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, and you see those unwanted thoughts are still there. Let it be there. So when you attend to those thoughts, and then only you say that I'm disturbed. You're not disturbed while driving, taking a sip of coffee, and talking to your friend or honey while driving. Driving is so smooth even while talking. What happens? I subjectify those thoughts. Subjectification is thinker. I become the thinker. That very thought becomes the thinker. Moving the mind in the middle portion of the body from the shoulder down to the waist in the front and the back. We are educating the mind. This is the right way to change our attitude, my friend. Real sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the right leg. Just be there. And experience the change. And that change, I say, it is sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. Be there. Feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Just be there and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now, your mind may ask why we are doing sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So, before my attitude shows its manifestation in the body, I am aware. One, and I am keeping the body into that state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Even if any unconscious impression takes hold of the body, I will become aware. Look at this. Don't take these steps as easy. And in that state, you look at the breath. You're just looking at the breath, and the mind will show its attitude. It will change its rate and the rhythm. Why it is changing? Because of that habitual and unconscious nature. And that takes a long time. So you're simply looking at the breath that is going in and coming out. And every time the breath goes in, you drop Shanto Hum with the meaning, with the knowledge inside. Shanto Hum means I am the peace. And while breathing out, when the breath comes out, Shanto Hum goes in, Shanto Hum comes out, Shanto Hum. While driving, your main focus is on driving. and still you are talking. So that talking, the mind is talking, let it talk with unwanted thoughts and feeling and sensations, no worries. You continue to drive Shantoham on the breath. Be very clear. So even if the crazy thought enters into your mind, they are not going to disturb you. Because your talking while driving doesn't disturb you. Yes, this separation takes time. Mind is habituated. So it returns again. It mess up. So we return again to the breath and we drop the shanto. Awareness or the knowledge is clear. Breath goes in and out, shanto hum in and out, knowledge and the peace. Your mind is naturally focused on the peace. It is not diverting its attention to the unwanted thoughts and the feeling. They may be there, let it be there. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences, and if you have any question, you're free to ask that question. How are you, Sophie?
I am good, Girish. Thank you. It was interesting. Towards the end, I could see like my arm didn't do anything. I could see my arm making a gesture, and yeah, it was Strange.
You see that impulsive and the fixed deposit is expressing its action in the body. That's how we recognize it. But
Yeah.
it cannot show sometime when we are suffering from, say, for example, depression and other mental illnesses, then it becomes erratic. The body movements becomes agitated and erratic. So that is also a release. I recognize that I'm not moving my body and still I can see it, imagined. So that helps a great deal. Maybe some impression, maybe they're so very good.
Thank you.
How are you meet?
The clarity of your words tonight especially helped me to find some inner stillness that I
Good,
really needed.
very good,
Thank you.
very good. So live with that inner stillness. Ultimately, at the highest level of meditation, we always live with that stillness. And at the outer level, our behavior keeps changing, let it change according to the people, situation, and relations. You can say that is the highest state of meditation. Also, that is one definition. How are you, Anne?
Yes, I feel fine.
You feel fine, calm?
The last 3 minutes, I fell asleep for some reason.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It is what happens until we progress at a higher level. The sleep does not comes. Beautiful. How are you, John?
Hey Girish, I'm fine. It's fairly peaceful and quiet, so it was nice.
Very good. Remain peaceful and quiet all the time.
We'll try.
So that is all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
will meet again.